Elon Musk story is like something straight out of a science fiction movie, except it's all real. It all started on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, the capital of South Africa. Elon was born into a unique family. His father, Elon Musk, was an engineer and a pilot, and his mother, May Musk, was a well-known model and dietitian. They had a good life from the start, but like many families, they had their own issues. From a young age, Elon was obsessed with reading. He was a bit of a loner, always lost in his books and his own world. When he was just 9 years old, he got his first computer, and by the time he was 12, he had already written his first computer program. This was in the early days, long before the internet as we know it today, but Elon taught himself how to code and even created a video game called Blaster, which he sold. It might sound funny, but even as a kid, he showed signs that he was destined to do things most people couldn't even imagine. But school wasn't easy for Elon. In Pretoria, he was bullied by other kids, often to the point of physical violence. Once, they even beat him up so badly that he lost consciousness. But despite all this, Elon never gave up. After finishing high school, he decided to leave South Africa. He didn't want to be drafted into the military, and he believed his future would be brighter in America. He first moved to Canada because his mother was Canadian, and it was easier for him to get there. After spending a few years studying in Canada, he finally made it to the United States, where he enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania. He took on 2 majors at the same time, physics and economics. Even back then, he was already thinking about how he could change the world. This is where he started to dream about things that could reshape the future of humanity. One of those things was the internet, and the other was clean energy and space exploration. After graduating, instead of taking a cushy job, Elon decided to follow his passion. Even though he was accepted into a PhD program, he dropped out and started his first company with his brother Kimball, Zip2. Their goal was to help businesses establish an online presence. Back then, the internet was just starting to become popular, and Elon had already realized that the future lay in the digital world. With a lot of hard work and determination, they managed to sell the company and make a good profit. After selling Zip2, Elon had made quite a bit of money, but he wasn't the kind of guy to just sit back and enjoy it. He immediately started looking for his next big idea, which led to the creation of PayPal, a revolutionary way to transfer money online. PayPal was one of the most important things Elon did in those years, and it was a stepping stone to the next phase of his journey. After Elon sold PayPal, he walked away with about $165 million. A lot of people would have stopped there, maybe retired early, and enjoyed their wealth. But not Elon. For him, this was just the beginning. He was always driven by bigger ambitions that had the potential to change the world. One of those dreams was space. From a young age, Elon had been fascinated by space and the idea of humanity exploring the stars. He believed that humans needed to become a multi-planetary species to ensure our long-term survival. To make this a reality, he founded SpaceX in 2002. But this wasn't just any space company. Elon's vision was to make space travel more affordable and accessible, taking it out of the hands of governments and opening it up to the private sector, and eventually to ordinary people. The early days of SpaceX were incredibly challenging. The first few rockets they launched failed, exploding in spectacular fashion. The media and critics were quick to laugh at him, saying he was wasting his money and that SpaceX was doomed to fail. At one point, Elon was on the brink of bankruptcy, having poured almost all of his money into the company. But Elon isn't someone who gives up easily. He once said, "If something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." Finally, on their 4th attempt, SpaceX successfully launched Falcon 1 into orbit. This victory was a turning point, not just for SpaceX, but for the entire space industry. It proved that a private company could do what had traditionally been the domain of governments. This success also attracted the attention of NASA, which awarded SpaceX a contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station, ensuring the company's survival and future growth. While Elon was battling to get SpaceX off the ground, he was also working on another ambitious project, Tesla. Elon had always been concerned about environmental issues and the future of our planet. He knew that the world needed to shift away from fossil fuels, and electric vehicles were a key part of that transition. But at that time, electric cars had a bad reputation. They were seen as slow, expensive, and not very practical. Elon was determined to change that perception. Tesla's mission was to build electric cars that were not only environmentally friendly, but also fast, stylish, and desirable. The road wasn't easy. Developing new technology and building a car from scratch takes a lot of time and money, and Tesla faced many setbacks and production delays. Many people doubted that Tesla could ever succeed in an industry dominated by giants like Ford and General Motors. But once again, Elon persevered. He and his team managed to produce the Tesla Roadster, the company's first car, which caught the world's attention with its impressive performance and design. This was followed by the Model S, which further cemented Tesla's reputation as a serious player in the automotive industry. People started to see that electric cars weren't just a niche product, they were the future. But Tesla wasn't just about cars. Elon realized that to make electric vehicles truly viable, they needed a reliable and sustainable energy source. This led to the creation of SolarCity, a company focused on producing solar panels and making solar energy more accessible to homes and businesses. With SolarCity, Elon aimed to create a complete ecosystem where people could generate their own clean energy and use it to power their homes and vehicles. As we move forward in Elon Musk's story, we reach a period marked by both remarkable achievements and intense challenges. This phase of his life was a true test of his resilience and determination. Let's start with SpaceX. By this point, SpaceX had survived its early struggles and secured its place as a key player in the space industry. But Elon wasn't satisfied with just sending rockets into orbit. His goal was far more ambitious. He wanted to make human life multiplanetary by establishing a colony on Mars. To achieve this, SpaceX needed bigger and better rockets, so Elon and his team developed the Falcon 9 and later, the Falcon Heavy. These rockets were designed not only to carry larger payloads, but also to be reusable, which would drastically reduce the cost of space travel. However, the path to success was anything but smooth. The first few attempts to land the Falcon 9's first stage back on Earth ended in failure. The rockets either missed their target or exploded upon landing. Each failure was a public spectacle, with many critics doubting whether reusability was even possible. But Elon kept pushing forward, driven by his belief that reusability was the key to making space exploration affordable and sustainable. Finally, in 2015, SpaceX made history by successfully landing the Falcon 9's first stage back on Earth, vertically, after launching it into space. This achievement was a game changer, not just for SpaceX, but for the entire aerospace industry. It proved that reusable rockets were not only possible, but practical, paving the way for more frequent and less expensive launches. This success laid the foundation for even more ambitious projects, like the Starship, a fully reusable spacecraft designed for missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. Meanwhile, at Tesla, Elon was facing a different set of challenges. As the company began ramping up production of its newer models, like the Model S and Model X, it encountered significant production bottlenecks. Elon famously referred to this period as production hell. Tesla was struggling to meet demand, and the company's financial stability was hanging by a thread. The stress of these challenges was immense, with Elon even admitting that he was working up to 120 hours a week, often sleeping on the factory floor to stay close to the action. Despite these hardships, Elon and his team managed to overcome the production issues, and Tesla eventually hit its targets. The Model S became one of the most critically acclaimed cars in the world, praised for its performance, safety, and design. Tesla's success wasn't just limited to cars. The company also made significant strides in energy storage with its Powerwall and Powerpack systems, helping to create a more sustainable energy ecosystem. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. As Tesla grew, Elon found himself increasingly in the spotlight, and not always for the right reasons. His outspoken nature and frequent use of Twitter led to several controversies. One of the most notable incidents occurred in 2018 when Elon tweeted that he was considering taking Tesla private at $420 per share and that he had funding secured. This tweet led to a massive reaction in the stock market and caught the attention of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). The SEC accused Elon of misleading investors, which resulted in a settlement where Elon had to step down as Tesla's chairman and pay a hefty fine. Around the same time, Elon's personal life and management style were also under intense scrutiny. Reports surfaced about his demanding work environment, with some former employees describing him as a tough and sometimes difficult boss. While many admired his relentless drive and vision, others criticized him for pushing his employees too hard and setting unrealistic expectations. These controversies painted a complex picture of Elon, a man whose brilliance and ambition were undeniable, but whose approach sometimes sparked significant backlash. But even in the face of criticism, Elon continued to innovate. During this period, he also introduced the Boring Company, a venture focused on creating underground tunnels to reduce traffic congestion in cities. And true to form, Elon didn't stop there. He also founded Neuralink, a company working on developing brain-machine interfaces with the aim of connecting the human brain directly to computers. This, he believes, could be crucial in the future, especially as artificial intelligence continues to advance. As we reach the final page of Elon Musk's story, it's clear that this is a journey filled with groundbreaking achievements, intense challenges, and plenty of controversy. In recent years, Elon's focus has expanded even further, touching on critical aspects of technology and society. One of Elon's most significant and ambitious projects in recent years has been Starlink, a satellite internet constellation developed by SpaceX. The goal of Starlink is to provide high-speed, reliable internet access to even the most remote corners of the world. Elon believes that access to the internet is a basic human right, and that Starlink could connect millions of people who currently have limited or no access to the digital world. Today, Starlink has already launched thousands of satellites into orbit and is providing internet services to users around the globe, with plans to expand further in the coming years. But perhaps the most headline-grabbing move Elon has made recently was his acquisition of Twitter in 2022. Elon, who had long been an active and influential user of the platform, surprised the world when he announced his intention to buy Twitter for $44 billion. His motivation? To transform Twitter into a platform that better supports free speech and to address what he saw as issues with censorship and bias. The acquisition wasn't without drama, as the deal faced legal battles and intense scrutiny. Once he took control, Elon wasted no time making sweeping changes. He fired top executives, restructured the company, and even rebranded Twitter as X, with a vision of turning it into an everything app that goes beyond social networking to include payment services, shopping, and more. These moves were met with mixed reactions. Some applauded his efforts to innovate and push boundaries, while others criticized the sudden changes and questioned the impact on the platform's users and employees. In addition to his work with Starlink and X, Elon has also been deeply involved in the field of artificial intelligence (AI). He was one of the co-founders of OpenAI, a company dedicated to ensuring that AI is developed in a way that is safe and beneficial for humanity. Although Elon has expressed concerns about the potential dangers of AI, his involvement in OpenAI and his broader interest in AI technology highlight his belief in the transformative power of this field. Moreover, through Neuralink, he's exploring how AI can be integrated with the human brain, which he sees as a way to enhance human capabilities and protect against the risks of uncontrolled AI development. Today, Elon Musk is one of the most influential and controversial figures in the world. He continues to lead SpaceX and Tesla, pushing the boundaries of space exploration and sustainable energy. SpaceX is working on the development of Starship, a spacecraft designed for missions to Mars, while Tesla is expanding its lineup of electric vehicles and energy products. Meanwhile, Starlink is rapidly growing, bringing the internet to more people than ever before, and X is undergoing a transformation under Elon's leadership. Despite the challenges, criticisms, and controversies, Elon remains as driven as ever. He's constantly looking toward the future, whether it's by exploring new frontiers in space, redefining how we communicate, or ensuring that AI evolves in a way that benefits humanity. Elon Musk is a man who refuses to stand still, always pushing the envelope and chasing the next big idea.